Hey everyone, welcome to my usual Thursday live, and today I'm going to be talking about the 4 E's of content marketing. Those 4 E's are entertainment, education, engagement, experience, entertainment, education, engagement, and experience. This is one of those times when you wish that you could start a live all over again. So please let me know if you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay in the comment section below, and feel free to post any questions that you have as we go along. I will come back and answer them. And I'd also love to know where you might be watching from. So again, let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining me. Last week in my Facebook group, the Marketing and Sales Academy for Coaches, I ran 5 days worth of free training on how to magnify your marketing mojo. So it was just 5 days worth of kind of practical hints and tips and things that you could consider and look at in your coaching business to up-level your marketing without creating any extra effort or stress for you. And I'm going to be compiling the training into a 5-day email series where you'll receive the individual daily trainings every day for 5 days via email. So if you would like to have access to that, after this video has gone live on my Facebook page, there will be a link in the introduction to the video where you can click on it and sign up to get all of those trainings delivered. And it was free trainings, there's no charge involved, delivered to your inbox. So for those of you who don't know me and haven't met me before, my name is Megan Hudson and I'm a marketing and business coach. I've been in the coaching industry for almost 20 years now, and prior to that I was in brand marketing and advertising. And I was fortunate enough to work for one of the top agencies in the world in their regional office in client service, and also worked on some of our top and best known and best loved brands in South Africa. I specialize in helping coaches find and define your niche, which is one of the best ways of future-proofing your coaching practice. And I also teach coaches how to market their practice without spending a cent, because when many of our coaches start off in business, we don't have a big budget to get out there and market ourselves, and even entrepreneurs don't have a huge budget to get out there and market our businesses. And with my background in marketing and advertising, it's a firm belief that this is something you can do organically and without having to pay for it. You can also learn more about my one-on-one VIP 12-week program, which is 12 weeks to market your practice without spending a cent, on my website, www.nicheintelligence.co.za. Hi Bernard, thanks for joining me online. It's lovely to have you part of the live today. So what are the 4 E's of marketing content? Well, whenever we create meaty content, and I'm not talking now about, the quotes that we post on our Facebook timeline, or the shorter comments that we might make if we are referring to an article that somebody else has written. I'm referring specifically to the meaty content that we create. So this might be things like videos, like video training. It might be articles that we write for our websites, a blog, publication, or for syndication. And we need to run them through a filter that ticks at least 3 of the following boxes. So the first box is, have we educated our audience in some way? The second box is, have we entertained our audience in some way? And on the subject of entertaining, you might want to go back in my group and watch my most watched video of all time about functional storytelling and stimulating dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins by the content that we include in our, in whatever it is that we're producing. The third thing that we need to run our content through is, have we engaged our audience in some way? So have we managed to engage their emotions? Have we managed to hit on something that gets our audience to be able to resonate with us? And also, have we engaged them enough to change their behavior? So have we made enough of an impact for whoever is the audience for our content to either pick up the phone and make an appointment, to see us, or to go and look more into the work that we do? Is there some way that we've engaged them to take some kind of an action? And the final filter that we need to put our content through is, have we included experience? So I want to talk about experience now from two different angles. And the first is, have we showcased our own experience and expertise? And the second angle is, have we given our audience a positive experience in terms of the education, entertainment, and engagement that we've provided? So to illustrate a little bit of what I'm talking about, there's a company that puts up the most fantastic YouTube videos, and they actually specialize in training employees in a corporate environment on how to cope with working in a virtual world. They're called, and their YouTube channel is called Trip and Tyler. And one of their videos that I was watching recently was a kind of a parody on what happens when we hold virtual meetings, which is really, really appropriate for what is going on in the world right now, where a lot of people are connecting in ways that they've never connected before. So this online skit starts off where everybody kind of checks into the meeting, and the person who's leading the meeting thinks that most of the attendees have checked in, and he launches into his introduction and whatever it is that he wants to say to his team, and halfway through it, another team member joins and disrupts the whole process, and everybody stops, to say hello, and it just, completely disrupts the flow. Then carrying on into the meeting, you have somebody else who's a little bit of a technophobe, and it's probably the first time that they are using virtual technology, to meet. And so they start to struggle or battle with their technology, battle to connect. And again, you have that typical situation that I think most of us have experienced, where we've been involved in kind of virtual group meetings where somebody's on the phone to the person who's struggling to gain access, and everybody else is kind of, shouting comments and advice, out in the group. But I'm sure that what I'm describing you can relate to, where I'm not going to go through the whole video, but I'm sure you can relate to this, where you've been in an online meeting and all of a sudden somebody's signal levels or signal strength drops, and their connection to the internet drops, or otherwise they get disconnected from the meeting because their signal is so poor. But you've been through it, and what they've done, what Trip and Tyler have done very carefully, is by creating this series of videos, and there are a whole lot of them on different situations on working in the virtual workspace. By creating this series of videos on their YouTube channel, this is their way of marketing their business and what they do. And they actually engage us because, firstly, you identify with what is in their videos. You've been there, you've been through it. You may not personally have been the person struggling with the technology, but you've been in meetings where this kind of stuff has happened, and where you've sat there frustrated and gritting your teeth because all you want to do is manage your time as carefully as possible and get on with the whole meeting. So they're kind of parodying what goes on in real life and engaging us by amusing us and telling a story. But they're also highlighting and pinpointing the problems of not managing working in the virtual world properly, and the problems with managing our time. So by depicting a very common real life scenario, they are showcasing their expertise and where they can potentially help their clients through the training that they offer. All in all, it's a fantastic marketing experience. I mean, you don't feel at any point like you're being sold to. In fact, you feel like you're being entertained. And it's only at the very end that they say, you know, if you want us to help you avoid this kind of a situation, then, and they pop their contact details up. But they are incredibly memorable videos because they're so relatable, and they are talking about situations that most of us have been in at some stage or another. So if we put them through the criteria that I've given, these guys are a fantastic example of doing a couple of those things really well. They get and keep their audience's attention. So they get your attention. In fact, these are the criteria for creating highly successful brands. They get their audience's attention. They engage their audience emotionally, like you really do connect with the situation that they're depicting. And they make sure that they are highly memorable. They entertain us, they educate us, and they engage our emotions. So they're already ticking 3 of the 4 criteria of the 4 P's of marketing content. And the way that they're doing this is through telling a story. Now, think about how our knowledge has been passed down over time. It's been through storytelling. We've all sat at our parents' feet while they have told us stories about their past and their history. We've all got memories of, at some stage, learning about something while we've been sitting at the feet of someone who has got the knowledge. Storytelling is something that our brains recognize in terms of how we assimilate and remember information. If I was to ask you to think back to your school days and think of your favorite teachers at school, I bet you that the teacher or teachers who come to mind, if you think about how they behaved in the classroom, they were the people who were really, really great at telling stories. They made your learning come to life, and they educated and entertained you at the same time. We had a fantastic history teacher at school. I loved history. I loved my history classes. I can remember laughing until my sides, like, you know, my stomach cramped. She just had this amazing way of telling stories and putting things in an historical context where we would learn the history lesson, but at the same time we would be so entertained. She brought it to life for us. And we all need to do the same thing in our marketing, because by using stories, we not only educate and entertain, but we also create greater engagement and we share an experience with our potential clients. So by asking you just now to think back to your school days and think back to a favorite teacher, and telling you the story about my history teacher and how she used to entertain me, you know, so much during history, I'm sure that you've got a similar common memory that you can think back on. And so I created something that illustrated the point that I wanted to illustrate, but also was relatable, something that you could identify with at the same time. So it's a quite short and sweet today. That's all that I have to share with you. I hope that it's given you something useful to think about, and thank you so much, Mardi, for joining us, coming online. Bernard, it was lovely to have you part of it. Don't forget that if you want to get access to the 5-day free training that I ran in my Facebook group the whole of last week on how to magnify your marketing mojo, just give me a few minutes and I will post the link to be able to sign up for it, to receive those as emails in the introduction to this video. And next week, I'm going to be going further down the alphabet, and I'm going to be talking about the 3 Ps that will change your marketing mindset into a positive one. So please don't forget to join me next Thursday at 5 p.m. South African Standard Time or 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. But until then, thanks, Candace. Thank you for that comment. I'm glad that you've gotten real value out of it. But until then, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in a week's time. Same place, same time. Ciao for now.